My name is Enamored, and this is the discussion that I've been telling you guys about. This is my good friend Mikey here, and this is my good friend Isaac.
So,
And we're going to be talking about the ideal. We're going to be called the ideal woman. Oop, put her on mute. There's somebody on the phone, guys. In my last discussion on what I've been sitting and explaining in the ideal, loud, isn't she? I gotta put her all the way down. Okay. Anyhow, last discussion that I was hearing of. Hey guys, a lot of difficulties right now. Last time I was sitting and explaining about the ideal woman. Um, I wanted to ask you guys more questions and other things. These are going to be my two co-stars from here on out. How we're going to be talking about like anime. We're going to be talking about a lot of things, but uh, per se, I wanted to personally ask Mikey and then Isaac here if they thought the perfect woman was or the ideal woman for them was, because you guys have gotten the gist of um, what I'm looking for and stuff. And trust and believe me, I trust both of their insights and their perspectives on it. So, Mikey, you could definitely go first.
No, I'm gonna have Isaac go first. I wanna hear his.
I should go first?
Yep.
All right, well, in my personal opinion, based on what I've lived and experienced, I've noticed that the ideal woman, for the most part, have these four core traits, which is emotional intelligence, the fact that she can be cooperative, reassuring, and of course, caring and affectionate. The last one is a given. The reason why I say caring and affectionate is because obviously nobody wants a woman that's dry. And another thing that I mentioned was cooperative. Now, the reason why I mentioned cooperative was because me, myself, there's been times where I've dealt with very difficult circumstances. And depending on the girl that I'm with, she can either make those circumstances even harder
Or better.
or take some weight off of my shoulders, right? So, for example, there's been plenty of times where things were not going the way I wanted it to go. I've been stressed out, I've been depressed. There were certain things in my life that were causing me to stagnate. And there was a girl in my life where I was like, hey, let's do this. Giving an example here. Let's do this so that it can make things easier for us. And instead of her going with the plan, she's like, no, we can't do this because I don't like that, or because let's say I don't prefer that, or however it is, right? So it's very important for you to have some sort of cooperation with me when it comes to very difficult times, because it just makes things easier for me and it makes things easier for you. But some females are just difficult. They're just naturally difficult to deal with. And I think that that's a problem. So, yeah, cooperation is definitely one of the key traits that a female, that the ideal woman has for me. So, yeah. And then another thing that I mentioned was reassurance. Now, the reason why I mentioned reassurance is because me, myself, I'm a very ambitious individual, right? I strive to become someone in life. I have a lot of hope and I have a lot of things like to put in motion. However, there's times where I don't have hope. There's times where I feel bad. There's times where I don't feel like keep going. It's always good to have a girl right there that's reassuring, because she's going to reassure me even in the worst times that everything is going to be all right. And so she's going to inspire me to keep moving forward. You know what I mean? Now, to be very specific, when I mention these four traits, let's say there's a different woman for a different man. You know what I mean? So maybe you have other qualifications, or maybe you see the ideal woman as something else, very differently than what I see. But I know me based on my experience and based on what I've lived. Emotional intelligence, cooperativeness, what else? Reassuring and caring and affectionate. Those to me are definitely the big ones. So yeah.
Oh, that's good.
You got anything to debate that, or I don't want to like interrupt his own outlook on. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's the thing. It's an outlook. It's his preference. You can't really say it's right or wrong.
You can definitely challenge it though.
Yeah, and I'm about to.
I don't disagree with anything that he's personally saying. It's just that like you're pretty much saying like already what I know. Like we haven't heard what he has to say. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was just like, well, let's hear what Mikey has to say because we've already gone back and forth and we pretty much are in agreement with a lot of things. So Mikey, go ahead, take it over, man.
For me,
Yeah.
the ideal woman for me is somebody who doesn't quit. Perseverance. Okay, bye, Isaac. I don't know where he went. Oh, he muted himself. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, let's mute ourselves, bro. Hold up.
For me, it's the girl. It's the woman with like perseverance, a strong willpower, if that makes sense. Somebody who doesn't stop with what she wants to get until she gets it. No matter who is in her way or what obstacles she has, she always overcomes them in one way or another. And when you look at a big picture, especially like that, instead of all the smaller, nuancy stuff, when you look at a big picture, the smaller, nuanced stuff kind of falls into place because it just happens naturally. You know what I mean? So, for the ideal woman for me is somebody who's very independent, very much knows what she wants and who she is. And somebody who is able to have... There is a distinction here because there are independent women and then there are independent women who also are extremely intelligent. However, independent women and independent women who are extremely intelligent, where they have like a two separate category sort of thing, they tend to be one and the same usually, but there are a few differences. I want somebody who is smart and who doesn't let her emotions all the time rule over everything that she does. And in that, I mean like she's in control of her emotions don't control her. You know? You're muted. Good job.
Say I like how Isaac got his little shit all set up in the bag. He got his little gaming chair. All I gotta say is fuck you, nigga. But I agree what old boy is saying. It's just that like recently in the events, who I'm calling is Kenya. If you can come into here, she'll explain her perspective and things. She got some really smart. She's gonna be the editor, and I got another editor as well to edit our videos and stuff and put our soundtrack on. Everybody already knows that, and I'm pretty sure once I start promoting, I'm pretty sure that you guys are gonna start promoting and putting it out there, the videos and stuff. And then I'll gain more subscribers and stuff, and
Excuse me.
and we'll get a lot more views. The latest one that I did, which was a couple of weeks ago, it got a lot of views within just like this, and it hasn't been a month. So just imagine over a month by now, like 60, 70 views, whatever, depending on how long that they are, you know. However, the ideal female is near perfection, and the reason why I say it's the ideal because there's an ideal female and then there's a female that has facts or just facts, So we're dividing facts from ideal at this point in time. The ideal female is perfect, little small little flaws and stuff like that. But we are nearly comparing her to either a perfect goddess, or we're comparing her to someone that we've watched growing up or looked up to. Everyone wanted to be Marilyn Monroe. Everybody wanted to be
I
Scarlett
want to
Johansson.
make a clear distinction here too as well. You guys have different religious preferences and stuff. I don't compare them to gods or goddesses. I don't compare people to gods or goddesses. That's just my own personal thing.
Yeah, I like to challenge you on that, Darian. The fact that you think that, like, for example, comparing the ideal woman to a goddess and stuff like that. I kind of differ on that, because it's just that it's a very unrealistic thing to think, right? Like, when it comes to standards and things like that. Now, I'm gonna let you elaborate, because there's probably something that I'm not getting, that I'm not being able to understand.
And I
But
understand where it comes from, but I
yeah,
also see what you're saying too.
yeah. Because everything I mentioned, I apologize. What you say?
It's just that I don't see them as much anymore. The world black and gray to me now is not full of rainbows and sunshine like I imagined it to be. Literally, I thought that I was gonna treat a girl just like a goddess back then, until all these girls start coming up and things fucked up. I explained in one of my vlogs on Snapchat that literally that idea or that ideal is fading away, and
Yeah, it's usually what happens.
yeah, I'm no longer starting to see females the way that I see them. You get what I'm saying? And there's a lot of girls out there that's making themselves look bad by saying they're going on their hot girl summer. And there's a lot of girls that's making themselves look bad when they're just like, oh, we're our own person. We can do anything you want. You can't do anything you want once you're in a relationship. You get what I'm saying? Because literally, you're
Yeah, because there are limits. If you play with a person's heart, then that's fucked up, and you're an
yeah, you
idiot
get
for
what I'm
doing
saying.
so.
If a real relationship is like you have to, you know what I'm saying. You have to go to your partner and see if you could do this and that. You know what I'm saying before you do it. Like, babe, can I wear this out today? I'm not trying to disrespect you anytime. I wanted to wear like no bra today, but I'll make sure I wear like a shirt underneath this jacket or whatever. You know what I'm saying? There's boundaries, and because a relationship is a commitment. It's almost nearly a marriage. So all these girls that are sitting out here and saying that, oh, niggas ain't shit and stuff, I've literally seen a whole bunch of females that's literally told me a whole bunch of dirty shit that they've done to homies.
Also,
Hold up. So, as I was explaining, so pretty much me reminiscing and saying that about goddesses and stuff. It's just pretty much. It's not really like like it's like ask almost, because it's like ideally speaking or generally speaking, I don't believe that there is any girl that's out there that can actually be fucking just drop dead gorgeous, act specifically as this person that I perceive them as. I thought that I had found her. I named her after one of the most beautiful goddess in history and mythology, and I was wrong to do that because she ain't shit, and she was like bullshit. I named a lot of girls. Andromeda. Andromeda is the goddess of dreams. So why would I name a girl after this when she wasn't dream or any kind? She's actually one of the worst girls I ever fucking met. I named a girl after Ostara, which is the goddess of Easter, another goddess of love, sex, things like this, and she wasn't that. You know what I'm saying? I named Eris. Eris was one of my favorite goddesses.
The
Goddess
reason,
has war, sex, love.
yeah,
She wasn't it.
this
yeah,
also
War,
brings up a really
challenge.
good point of the nicknaming thing, and this is something that I thought about for a really long time, since I don't know how long, but I've realized about myself that I don't like giving when I have had girlfriends, I don't like giving them nicknames. Because as soon as I start calling them a quote-unquote pet name or a nickname, that's kind of when everything starts going downhill and it starts, like, you get comfortable and it's like,
Right. It's like
you can't,
it's like giving
you
a
can't
piece
be
of
comfortable in a
yourself.
relationship. That's what it
Right.
is.
So
Once
2
you,
points.
right.
2 points that you guys said. Number one, the reason why I questioned the fact that you called them goddesses was because I thought that you in some way I apologize, pedestalized women in some sort of way. Do you understand what I'm getting at?
I'm apologizing for a second.
Capitalizing.
Is
I was capital.
pedestalizing a word?
Yeah, pedestal.
Okay.
We were putting them in a
Yep. Yeah, I know where it came from, but I was just making sure it was like an
So,
word.
I just
obviously,
said capitalizing fucking that their beauty and shit.
yeah.
Like what?
If you're talking strictly on like a physical beauty, then I get where you're coming from. The second thing that was what Mikey said about the nicknames and stuff like that. I personally, there's been times where I do give, my girlfriend's nicknames and stuff like that, just to give the relationship some sort of uniqueness. You know what I mean? Like, personally, I don't like to be the cliche type of guy that's like, oh babe, oh baby, oh this, oh that, cliche-ish type of things. I don't like to do that because it just makes me feel like I'm having like any other type of relationship. You know what I mean? And personally, I like to have a very distinct and fun type of dynamic in my relationships when I do have them. I don't feel like I'm like any other guy, and obviously the girl that I'm with, most of the times she's not a basic bitch, right? So we're both very different individuals, and I think it's interesting what Mikey says, because me, on the other hand, I've had totally an opposite experience. You know what I mean? Not because I give them nicknames, obviously, but the nickname is part of the relationships and stuff like that. So yeah, me personally, I don't know what your experiences have been. I've had pretty relatively successful relationships and stuff like that. So yeah,
I've not had a lot of relationships. Everything that I speak about is just from what I know, watching other people throw themselves into relationships and some personal experience.
No, most of the things that I know as well, half of it is from personal experience, and then the other half of it is from witnessing other things. You know what I mean?
For me, it's majority from witnessing other things, and then like, let's say 85% is from personal experience. So no, I'm sorry, switch the number, which would be 85% is from watching other people, and then whatever, like 15% is just from personal experience. Because I've only had like 2 actual relationships that have been like physical. One was in middle school, and that like set the tone for a lot of things. And then the other one was this really stupid one where both of us weren't really great people to either of us. So
it's interesting. Did you feel the last relationship that you just mentioned, after you left the relationship, do you feel some sort of change in yourself, like you became a better person after the relationship? Like you changed, like you gained something valuable off of it?
Did I what?
Like you gained something valuable off of the relationship?
No, I gained nothing valuable off of that relationship, actually. I'm telling you right now. Everything that I got out of that relationship is stuff that people should not have.
Like emotional turmoil.
Yeah, I guess that would be the best way to say it. Yeah.
So the reason why I ask you that is because me personally, I've had a lot of unpleasant experiences in relationships and stuff like that. I never take any of those experiences for granted, because even though I had bad experiences in them, I left them learning something new, and I left them becoming a better version of myself than I was before.
See, my thing with this last relationship is like, there's a lot of circumstantial stuff surrounding it that made me act the way that I was, that made her act the way that she was. Yeah. And there was a lot, and I don't want to really get into it. on a live call that's going to be popping into the internet because it's not professional to talk about it like that, you know?
Yeah, it's understandable.
But I was, at the time, I was struggling and I was trying to like figure out, because like I had this friend, I'm just going to kind of like say it as best as I can. I had this friend who had a lot of, also, like he had a lot of emotional turmoil, right? And I wanted to
figure
help
out
him heal from it.
Right, I'm trying to figure out if it's his background, but doesn't he look like Wolverine a little bit?
My background?
Yeah, bro, it's fucking up your hair so much. It's making you literally. I'm really trying not to laugh, but it's making you look like Wolverine.
I chose it specifically to throw people off because I wanted to look like an idiot a bit.
Yeah. I just had to get on his background. We gotta rip on everyone's on his background a little bit. Is this his normal background? Is that your? Oh, you blurred it? Oh, we can blur the background. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh shit! What the fuck? Oh, I like that background. I'm gonna choose that. I'm gonna choose that effect. The fuck? I'm over here looking like I'm in Miami. What the fuck? I didn't mean to cut you off, bro. It was just funny to me.
No, I was waiting for somebody to say something about it. Like, honestly, I was.
Yeah.
Hair was like.
My point is, like, I had this friend who had a lot of childhood trauma that I wanted to try to help heal him from it, but he didn't want to heal from it, so it inflicted trauma onto me. And there was a lot of turmoil with him.
I'd never do that.
Huh?
I'd never do that. I know what you're talking about because I've done it before.
Yeah, and that was the first time that I had ever tried something like that, and that's the last time I'm going to do something like that as well.
Yeah. Something that I've learned about that.
Because I'm, like I had said, I want my idealistic partner to be really strong-willed and determined. I'm also the same way. I am very strong-willed, determined, and I get what I want, no matter who stands in my way.
Don't you think? I apologize. Don't you think that causes some type of conflict in the relationship?
It could.
Because if you have two people that are strong and determined, and both of them are relatively the same, don't you think that is essentially not that good for a relationship?
It could be good, but it could also not be good. See, because the thing is, there are people who can work together in a relationship and have like a business thing going, and then like it can be really, 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 really good. And then all of a sudden one person's like, I want to do it this way, and the other person's like, well, I want to do it this way, but they like differ on it. And it doesn't have to be a heated argument. It could just literally be like, okay, you want to do it that way, I want to do it this way. We don't line up, so you do it your way, I'll do it my way. And if they break up, they break up. It's kind of like how Eliza Koshy and David Dobrik. I'm not even gonna go into the whole stuff that's going on with all that right now, but like how they broke up. Like they're still, like from what I've heard, they're still friends and stuff. And I don't mind that at all. You know? Like if you need to fix yourself, right yourself in a relationship, then by all means do so. Or if you think that whatever is going on, like if you feel yourself going in a different direction, yeah, it's gonna suck. And I'll probably like cry and shit, and you'll cry. Because it's human, you know, it's the reality of it. But if that's the case, okay, I get it. You know, this is what you want to do.
Generally when I was speaking, when I was getting at, you about to make me eat cereal. What the fuck? How you gonna sit here and just make yourself a bowl of fucking cereal? I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh bro, it's starting to get hot in here. It's 76. I forgot I turned the AC. I looked on the thing, it said 76. I said, what the fuck? I'm over here and I'm sweating, and you making me start to like fiend for shit. Like I was just like, man, I'm getting hungry because I'm about to make some popcorn and shit. Hold up, making some motherfucking popcorn. But if I make popcorn, then I'm thirsty. Then y'all gonna see me literally walk out with the laptop. You guys be like, where the fuck are you going? I'll be like, I'm going to the store. They're like, how the fuck are you able to do all this? I'm like, extensive Wi-Fi, no fault. I should have just. But let me see. Yo, last time I did the popcorn in here, it burned.
Okay, let me also add another thing. I want my ideal girl. She also has to be like fearless or close to it. You know?
You ever been in a relationship where like the female started learning? Like I feel that ideal woman, just the ideal relationship or anything. I've already been through it. Is that when you're in a relationship, you start copying the other person. You know what I'm saying? And I brought it up in
Yeah.
the Smitten Effect one.
I
but
do that with my
and it leaves
friendship.
right. It leaves a very strong impression
Mm-hmm.
on you in a relationship. You start doing what you did in the previous relationship and shit. And oh, that's the popcorn. I was like, who's knocking at the door? It was like, okay. For real, it was like, what the fuck is that? But
Not a
in
bad
general
memory.
though, like, no, it's not even a bad memory, bro. It's like I never want to have to. I've had so many shitty ass girlfriends, bro, and I wish one of them would just come out of nowhere talking about, oh, I wasn't shit, I was shitty. They know that they're a piece of shit, bro. Like every single female that I've been with is just a piece of shit, bro. Just literally, literally Ostara. She's not even Ostara anymore. I want her Hannah. Literally, I got a relationship with her like a day, 2 days later. Literally, she hopped on Instagram Live talking about telling every dude and every nigga name in her live, telling them to message her and get into her DMs. I'm
So,
like 16 years old.
so why do
Yeah.
you think that every female you've been with has turned out to be a piece of shit?
It's just in general, bro. I don't have no good relationships with any of my with any of
But do you, but do you think that's a result of something?
It's not the
Do you think
result
that
of
there's
anything.
something
It's
that causes
try
that?
to change their nature. I just try to change their nature. You can't really change anybody that don't want to be changed. And I always
Here's the
try to
thing.
beat that fact.
Here's the thing about that. Going back to what Mikey said, obviously you can't change anybody, right?
Right.
People will change in their own times. The problem with some guys, and I'm talking about guys because obviously we're all guys in this group, is
Yeah.
that they go out of their way to change a female or they go out of their way to change a friend. You're wasting your own time, clearly,
Yep.
because for that person that you care about, for them to change, they have to go through the process alone. They have to
And
go through the heartbreak alone. They have to go through the hardships alone. You can't
yep.
change anybody. The minute you
Yep.
try to change anybody, you're already losing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's why you
Which
always
is
gotta
also
focus on
something.
yourself.
Right, exactly. That's also another thing. We talked about the ideal relationship, but the reality of a relationship is you guys aren't working on the relationship. Excuse me. You guys are working on yourselves, but together. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're building yourself, she's building herself separately, but you're together at the same time. Does that make sense? And
Right.
all of
Yeah.
this stuff, and honestly, being on social media, listening to people talk about relationships, and it's like, ladies or guys, if you don't have a boo 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 that does boo 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 boo, then they're not worth it. That's also making it really hard on younger people growing up, because
So
then
they
it sets
ideally look for that.
right, exactly. Then they start idealistically looking for it, and then they end up doing this thing subconsciously where they like try to change the person to be this way without even like meaning to do it that way.
Where's
By
your
the
smack,
way,
Isaac?
I would like to point out, okay, most guys, in my personal experience, the guys that I have personally met, most guys are raised on how to treat a woman correctly. However, most girls are not raised on how to treat a guy. They're not taught by their mom how to treat a guy. And that's just in my own personal experience. Isaac honestly probably has something different, but that's besides the point.
No, I somewhat believe in what you're saying. I agree.
It's just that me and him,
I do
we
think
had the
that
same perspective. Me and Isaac, we know how to treat girls now because that's how they want to be treated. Isn't that right,
Yeah.
Isaac?
yeah. Obviously my perspective on women in the world now is drastically different than my perspective when I was 16 to 18 years old. I was extremely different back then. I had a completely different mentality back then. So yeah, Some of the things that you are saying, I do agree with.
Mhm.
I used to be very like extremely sweet guy, and I still am to a certain extent. I just choose the right moment when to be it, right? I never refer to women, as goddesses or anything like that. I never refer to women as like anything that could put them in a high pedestal. Because
Exactly.
based on my experience, that never goes well. You know what I mean? I have a very realistic point of view when it comes to like women in the world in general, and even society. Because I've learned a lot throughout the years, right? And I can be a lot of things, but I can never be naive. I think that when you're naive, it really ruins your life. You know what I mean? And it really sets you to the wrong path. And I do feel like a lot of young people, especially nowadays, are extremely naive when it comes to a lot of things. So yeah.
And that's also partially going back to the topic of society.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the fact of how
society.
We live in a society. Dude, it's because of the fact of how many people have had kids at the ages of like...
You got both the extremes. You got people that ain't got no kids at the age of 20, and then you got people that ain't got no ass at the age of 20. So you have it. You know what I mean?
And then you got the people who have like 5 kids at the age of 25. And I get it, like, don't judge them, because like, it's like they were just trying to have fun. They messed around, they screwed up, they get that, and I get that. And I don't judge them. But at that same token, the best way to not have a kid is also to not have sex. Like, condoms only have a certain amount of success rate. Oh, also, sorry, let me correct that statement. If you want to deal with birth control, that's another really good way. But
first of all, I don't think we should judge them. However, I think that we should make an example out of them. Second of all, when it comes to condoms and contraceptives and things like that, I've never had a bad experiences when it comes to that. Obviously, if the condom isn't expired and things like that, things should go flowingly well. Obviously, if using an expired condom, then it's going to break. And yeah, but yeah, when it comes to that, I think that there's various different methods for you to prevent pregnancy and stuff like that. It's just that people aren't well educated when it comes to those things. And yeah.
Also, any of the boys out there watching this, never reuse your condoms.
I'm not. Alright. So what I've learned so far. Alright, so let me explain what I'm telling, what I'm pretty much. Let me explain pretty much what I was just doing. I was taking a picture for our cover. Me eating the popcorn, just going like, Yeah. But aside from that, Isaac definitely hit something. We got to quote that. That's going to be quoted in our comments. He said, you never want to sit here and call a girl or a female a goddess, because that's putting them at a high pedestal.
Yeah.
Killed it right there. That's literally the moral to what the ideal woman is. I put these girls on too much of a high pedestal, because literally I'm already on that pedestal. Y'all have to meet and match me. I've already gone up and beyond. I've done shit to where literally I can have everybody sit here and vouch for me that I'm a real nigga, bro. I don't swear on everything. Y'all do one thing and then just think that because y'all did that one thing that you know what I'm saying. Oh, now I'm a real ass bitch. Nah, bro, you got to be consistent with that. Which is what I talk about.
Oh, that is something that I wanted to talk on. Sorry. That's what I mean when I say I want somebody who is persistent and always striving to be, better or striving for their goal. I meant that I want somebody who's always striving to be better, who's always striving to do something better than what they've done the day before, the minute before, the second before, whatever it is, I want somebody who is always trying to be their better self, naturally. I can't pull that out of. Well, I could try, but it wouldn't work and be a waste of time to pull that out of somebody. You know, they got to pull that out of themselves. And this actually brings up a really good point, in Amber, because my thing is, I treat people based on like how they act and what they do, if that makes sense. Also, how they are on the inside. I get a vibe for people, and if I know that you're not a great person, then I'm going to treat you honestly kind of like shit. So let's be honest.
Exactly, bro.
Right. And
I just
this has no, and for me this has no gender boundaries. This is for men and for women alike. Like straight up. If you have to tell yourself, you know, oh, I'm an independent person because I just did this. No, you're not an independent person. You just did something that was like totally out of your comfort zone, and you think you're a badass bitch. But in all reality, you're a person who sits at home and watches, like, I don't know, Teletubbies and eats yogurt. You know?
like, not even.
And that was an exaggeration.
Your girl at home either waiting for them to pop off on a fucking Monday with no sort of job of any kind. Then once you do get your job, I don't know. Let's say, for instance, you start flexing your first check on Snapchat, $700 to $900.
Right. And
no
then,
one gives a fuck about that.
She like complains that you didn't use it on her.
Don't get me started, bro.
I know. Like, you want to be treated like a badass? Then do some badass shit. And and I want a badass. So you better be doing some badass shit. Because if you're not doing badass shit, if you're not doing awesome stuff, then I'm sorry, I can't treat just what it is. Like I am a brutally honest son of a bitch.
Sometimes it's a disadvantage.
Huh?
Sometimes it's bad.
sometimes it is very bad.
Oh, believe me. Honest.
Yeah. No, I am more than aware. Like, that shit is a double-edged sword. It's like a gun. It's like,
I'm so brutally honest that I be saying how I feel in the wrong times. That's how honest I am.
Same. Dude, that shit's like a gun that like can sometimes misfire.
Yeah,
or like
exactly.
Backwards. It's horrible. It's I think it's a nice thing to have, because there's not a lot of people who are willing to be brutally honest. But as you have said, it also comes at a cost of...
I mean, obviously, there's been times where I have to work on my paper, because despite me not always being agreeable, despite me not always saying the things I want to hear, I'm genuine, sincere, and that's very important, right? You can trust me that I'm able to do the right thing, or able to be honest with you all the way. So yeah.
And the other thing with me too is like, oh, it's horrible, because like I treat people based on, like I said, how they are on the inside. And if they're like soft or like sweet on the inside, I will treat them soft and sweet like at first. But if I get into a relationship with them, it slowly starts to turn more into the whole like brutally honest shit. And it's like, whoa, wait a second, hold up. And so that's kind of why I want somebody who's like badass and who can take like that has to be right off the bat. Because if it's not something like, if you're not the same person throughout the relationship, obviously you're going to change and grow and develop even throughout the relationship. But if you're not the same person at the start versus at the end, something happened in between, and either the one at the end is the real you or the one at the beginning is the real you. You know what I mean? And it's either the other person's fault or your fault for not being totally honest up front.
That's a good example, because when I was with half of these girls, and I named them that, our relationship started to change in the middle of, and I started to see that they wasn't the girl that I actually fell in love with or fell for. And usually, in order for a female to legitimately sleep with me, she would have to lie to me about legitimately wanting to be in a relationship, because I only sleep with females that are in a relationship with me. You remember that girl, Rachel, right, Isaac? We was exclusive on... Yeah, we was exclusive on campus for how long? 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I wasn't even in a relationship.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
It was like a fling or something.
You gotta present the female with what you want. because a girl knows what she wants immediately when she talks with you. So literally, when you meet her and stuff, and you know you like her, do whatever, you gotta present her with option A. Yo, do you just want? Option B, are you literally looking for a relationship? I'm just asking. Or are you just looking for a friend?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That brings up another good point. Enamored, you had said on one of your stories on Snapchat that these girls that say that they have guy friends, none of them are actually their guy friends. They've at least hit it once. You've said that.
Yeah, that's true.
I'd beg to differ.
And here's the thing. You said that. I apologize. Here's the thing. You said that. A lot of girls are going to call you insecure for that. You know what I mean? Which I totally disagree. It's
right, and I totally disagree with it too. With them calling him insecure. But I also disagree that some girls can't have guy friends that haven't hit it. Because I make friends...
It's a minority, though. It's a minority.
It is a very big minority, but I also make friends with women a lot easier than I make friends with guys. Just by default.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Maybe because girls are softer than guys?
What?
I said maybe because girls are more softer than guys, but there is a girl I work with. She's called me ugly, and she doesn't find me attractive. However, I was telling Isaac about this. However, she can't lie to me, bro. I know that she extremely likes me. A lot. I just ate lunch with her just the other day. We sat and we talked.
Oh yeah, that's actually a flirtation habit some girls have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I think she's expecting me to. Yeah, she was expecting me to ask her for a snap or whatever. I could have invited her over. Probably next time when I go to work or whatever, I'll see what she's up to.
And see, there are some girls like. My thing is like I will throw like mental hoops and like I will set up a chessboard with you mentally, and it's like if you can't pass these or if you can't play with me on this, then no, you know. And that's part of my own defensive walls. I play mental games, mind games, as a like way to see like, hey, are you gonna be worth my time, or are we just gonna, you know, or are you just kind of like not at all, right? So
see, here's the thing. The problem that a lot of guys have is that every time they have an interaction with a girl, they expect a relationship out of it, right?
So that's most guys. That is most guys.
So, yeah, most guys. So me personally, every girl that I encounter, I don't expect a relationship from her. I mean, if I physically like her, of course.
Right.
There's certain categories that I put certain girls in. You get what I'm trying to say? So, yeah, right? You got
Isaac, when is your birthday?
When is my birthday?
Yeah.
January 9.
Okay, keep telling your story.
So, obviously, there's certain girls that aren't wife material. I personally don't believe in legal marriage, but that's a whole nother discussion. Yeah. Obviously, I believe in a spiritual bond. I believe in commitment. You know, that's entirely different. But like I was saying, not every girl is a girlfriend material.
A girl would sit here and quickly befriend you because she's literally scared of commitment.
That's also true. That is definitely true.
Yeah, no. And there's girls that I think are just friends. There's girls that I think, you know, are just for me to have a good time with and not really think too deep on it. There's girls that are just fuck buddies. There's girls that are, you know what I mean? Like, there's different categories. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
100%.
I've done that too. For me, I don't really want to have sex with people unless it's going to be a long-term relationship or a very committed one. Like Isaac said, he doesn't believe in
touching bodies and shit. I don't believe in what?
Isaac said he doesn't believe in legal marriage. I don't believe in it, but I see the value to it, especially if the other person is like very materialistic.
Because being in a relationship, just in general, is just a commitment. You know what I'm
It is. But that commitment should never be like entirely hard. You know what I mean?
saying?
Certain thing that
What was it?
Bro, I'm sitting here to Isaac right now. Bro, I got you on Instagram.
lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter.
Wait. What's Mikey? What's your thing?
My what?
Your Instagram.
I texted you.
No. I have you add it. It's just how I just tell me it. Spell it out. I tried so hard to lose it all. In the end,
There.
it doesn't even matter. You text it in the chat.
Yeah.
All right, Isaac, can you spell it out for me?
My Instagram.
His Instagram.
My Instagram is Isaac M. Daniels, which is spelled
No,
out.
his Instagram. Oh.
Say what?
Never mind.
What? What are you talking about?
There's somebody behind you.
The what?
There's somebody behind you.
What?
Bro, I'm dead as fuck. He'd already be dead, Mikey.
I'd be the first person to die in a horror story. I know.
Yeah. He said what? Bro, he said what?
I'm telling you right now, I'd be the person in a horror movie who'd like jokingly say, "Hey, maybe we should go give it a hug," and then like actually go give it a hug.
Mhm.
I'm dead. Oh no, I wouldn't give him the. Oh, you're crazy.
Yeah, I know. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely not. Okay, so it says orange boy. Does it have a heart?
No, it's 99 at the end there.
Yeah, I'm looking and I definitely don't see you. And why is it orange boy? I know you're not. Did you watch Iron-Blooded Orphans?
No.
And
orange it's that because I like foxes.
Oh, I was just about to say he watched the anime fucking Code Geass.
No, I've never watched that one.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. We gotta get off this call. He doesn't know anime. Sorry guys. We thought it was an anime cast. Is there a soccer kid on here, bro? The orange boy LOL, is that it?
Nope.
I don't know. What is your fucking Instagram?
I sent it to you.
I know, but apparently I can't send it to you. Hold on. Still gonna look for you. Orange boy. Yeah, I still can't find you.
It's a hot shame.
Yeah. So, pretty much, as we wrap it up and we get on to the next discussion in this video, and then we'll go back to like discussing anime and shit. All of our views and our morals and stuff all collided together, and they just all make sense. It's like making up like what the ideal woman is.
Which, ironically enough, is exactly what I said. As long as you look at the big picture, all of the smaller nuances kind of just fade away and they fall into place.
Right. I want y'all to like each and every single girl, even the last girl. I thought at the point in time in my life, Aphrodite was going to be the love of my life. I knew that she wasn't shit. Especially when she fucked up our relationship purposely. And we tried to rekindle our relationship recently. And she did the exact same thing she did 2 years ago. So now she's dead to me. You get what I'm saying? And I even said that. I even told her that. You're dead to me now, bro. I'm not rekindling a relationship with any ex. If you fucked up with me, you fucked up with me. That goes for Trini, that goes for whoever, bro. The moment that you lie about the person that who you are, to me, for me, it's a wrap. You know, I don't want to mess with you or do anything because I know that I would do it. You know, so if I would expect any of my friends to do it, be on the same level as me, or any of the girls that I've been messing with to mirror me. You know what I'm saying? That's the harem.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Like that's my thing. Like I want somebody who like mirrors me, but like I don't want somebody who is me.
hmm the next video.
Um,
Which can have conflicts.
hmm
so the thing about that is, I agree with some of the things you're saying.
Yeah.
However, when it comes to the phrasing of it, the way that you're wording things, I don't really agree with that. However,
Yeah.
what you just said right now, me personally, I have certain qualities that if I'm with a girl, then she'd kind of have to be the opposite of. You know what I mean? And because
Yeah.
if she's too similar to me, the relationship
I'm not saying
rough,
like
right?
Right.
Because me,
similar.
for
I'm just
example,
And I
me, for
get
example,
that. I totally get that. I absolutely understand that. Because it's like as soon as you actually start, like, let's say you met a girl who is like literally you, but like female. And if you got
yeah.
in a relationship with her and you like started living with her, then you live with yourself and then you start to see like how horrible you can actually be as a person and just
Mhm.
like how lazy or how productive and how tiresome and obnoxious all of it could be all at the
Mhm.
same time.
Exactly, exactly.
So
So,
I agree
um,
with that. I don't want somebody who is exact. I've actually met a woman who is me as a female, and it
mhm.
scared the shit out of me. I met her
Yeah,
on an online group thing, and it was
yeah,
kind of funny, but like it was really cool. It was really fun, and I enjoyed it.
mhm. Yeah.
hmm
There are certain qualities about me that I wouldn't want on my significant other, but there are certain
Yes.
qualities that I do seek. Right, right,
Yeah.
that I do seek on my significant other.
Well, maybe a little bit. I mean, if she walked around in her underwear, I love that. I love when you sit here and you sag your pants. I definitely want to see you sagging so I can see your panties. So, I like when you just randomly take off your shirt. Now, mind you, this is all things that we do. You just randomly just take off your shirt in our presence.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna go and take a shower. Come out using no towel at all, and just go to bed. Doing random ass shit. But I was saying I don't want them to like mirror me. What I'm saying is just like make decisions uh on the behalf of me. Like say for instance, like if I would do something that I would do and do something, think about decisions carefully that you make because you gotta think,
Yeah,
oh, would enamored do that? I don't think enamored would do that. I don't think he'd like that if I did that. Like if I'm gonna sit here and be on the phone call knowing that I'm in a relationship with you with a girl for 2 hours and she's nothing to me pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Why would I do that knowing that another girl is gonna get mad or upset? I wouldn't like if a girl was doing that to me. So why would I do that myself? You know what I'm
right.
saying? You gotta set an example.
Yeah, that is true. Well, it's also better said because that kind of has this like oh mentor leader thing to it, which
Mhm.
is also a totally different topic. Like Isaac said, what energy like that stuff to me, that's all kind of like the basic. That is the basic needs, and this is also what I was talking about with social media. It's like yo, because like there's so many people out there that like genuinely simp or like genuinely just want a relationship where all the person does is not cheat. Like that bar is so low.
Mhm.
We all three of us understand how low that bar is, right?
It is. It is. It's extremely low. And actually I've had friends that their view on girls is very troubling to me. Um,
Yeah,
they
same.
to put it simply, they're just simps. They're just simps, and I feel bad for them. I try to help them out, but at the end of the day, they gonna have to learn things themselves, right?
Oh yeah.
And yeah, you know what I mean. Like me, like right now, I'm doing my own thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have my own goals. I have my own journey. If you
Yep.
choose to tag along with me, then that's great. You know, I would love to
Right.
have you on this journey.
Right.
Like me, for example, I'm a writer. I'm an author. I'm currently doing my own book.
Nice.
And so I don't have time. Yeah, I don't have time to chase other females. You know what I mean? I don't have time to do that because it's
Exactly.
extremely unproductive. Because
Yeah.
when was the time that you ever heard of a guy getting money by chasing females? No, never. You know what I mean? You lose money.
Right.
And let me
Right.
tell you something. I've gone through a couple of, like, I had been to a couple of dates. You know what I mean? Like, I'm the type of guy that takes a girl out, buys for most of the things and stuff like that. Some of those dates I regret because if all of the money that I spent on all of those dates, if I could somehow take all that back and reinvest it in me, reinvest in what I'm doing, I'd be in a lot more better position now.
Something
You know what
I
I mean?
also would like to bring up about the financial aspect of a relationship, realistically speaking, is if she can't live in a house on her own, and this is a standard that needs to be set honestly as a societal standard for everybody. If she cannot live in a house, if she cannot afford her own apartment or whatever, then she has no business being in a relationship. Unless, okay, let me restate that or add to it. Unless both the guy and the girl are okay with building it. Like they have their own separate savings accounts that they're building and they think about it like thoroughly, right? But my thing is like I can't stand dependency. Like if you're trying to be dependent on me, no, you're not going to be dependent on me, and I'm going to be absolutely horrible to you.
Other thing that people don't realize, dating is expensive. You know,
Yes.
taking girls out to eat is expensive. Like I remember back in the days when I used to like want to be a fuck boy and all these things until I realized how much I had to spend. I was like, hell nah, I'm not gonna spend all this shit.
Yeah, nah.
You know what I mean?
And it's really not worth it either.
And it's not worth it because when you go on dates, a lot of the times you don't even sleep with them. You know what I mean? Like you don't even sleep with the girls. So you're losing money. And I know it sounds kind of bad depending on, you know, how you interpret it, but it's the truth. You know what I mean? Essentially losing money.
It is the truth.
So that money that you just wasted, you could have done something better with it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah.
And that's also another thing. I need a girl who doesn't think that she is God. And who doesn't want to be treated like she is a god.
Yeah, she's a goddess. Exactly.
No, like I don't want I don't want somebody who thinks she's a goddess. I want somebody who knows her worth but doesn't think that she's above everybody.
Someone that's humble.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. Sorry, that word just totally.
Someone.
So what do you have to say about people who literally feels that? Wait, but what does he feel that about who literally call themselves kings and queens?
That's a totally different subject.
What do you?
Because
If
kings
you
and
don't want them to be
queens,
gods or goddesses, what would you say about people who call them?
Kings and queens are two totally different things than a god and a goddess.
If I ever hear a girl say I'm a goddess, if I ever hear that shit come out of her mouth, I'm gonna think she's delusional. I'm gonna think like I'm not gonna like what? Like are you really
Eris literally started to get the mentality that she was a goddess, bro. Literally, Aphrodite still calls herself Aphrodite after the fact that we've been broken up for literally 2 years, my nigga.
To be 100% fair, is slightly your fault too.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I said literally they've gotten this fucking mentality or ego from me, like this crazy ass ego. I was just like, bro, literally you took my name and you just ran with it. Like I gave you that name at our relationship.
Which is exactly what Isaac was saying. Because as soon as you start like calling them something like that, it seriously goes to their head. And this is for both guys and girls alike. This isn't just a strict thing. This is on both ends.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know, obviously. You see, me on the other hand, there's been mornings where I've woken up and I just thought I was the shit. I just thought that Ain't nobody like me. I'm the only one out there. You know, I'm the one with the potential. I'm the one with the future. Yada 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 yada.
Right.
But at the end of the day, when I really think about it, I don't let it go to my head because I'm not arrogant to the point where I feel like I can't improve myself in other areas or keep on learning things for me to become a better human being. You know what I mean? The reason why sometimes I have such high esteem of myself is because I needed to keep going. You know what I mean? For me to achieve the goals that I want to achieve, I need to have a high self-esteem. Now, I was never this type of person. There was a time in my life where I was extremely insecure. I hated myself. I thought I was hideous. And that's something that you can even smell from me. That was like an aura that I had back in the day. And obviously that turned a lot of people off.
Fun fact, I've always been like really sure of myself and really confident with myself. And then like I had said, there was this one friend that I had who was just all sorts of twisted up inside. And he just like, and it was so bizarre because I had the walls. I had the mental walls, I had the emotional walls, but there is this corrosion to it. It slowly seeped in the more I was with him, and I just like it slowly deteriorated me, and it shouldn't have, because like I knew the walls that I had, I knew I had the fortitude to deal with it, but I didn't realize really like how horrible it would be. You know what I mean? So, which is also why psychiatrists exist. Like that, and they have a certain amount of time. They can only take so much of your shit before they literally have to say, "All right, I cannot."
But that's a good. That was a really good discussion. We gotta wrap it up before the video becomes too long. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that's gonna be watching this. We got a lot of facts put down. You see, I'm pretty sure people are gonna start becoming fans of you two individuals. You know, being on my stream and stuff. These are both very good friends of mine. I respect their opinions and their insights and things like that. On top of the fact that I already know from us sitting here and talking what the next video is going to be. Just don't forget to like and subscribe and just comment and ask any one of us any personal questions that you have. And then on top of that, the next video that we're going to be coming out with is
also. I'd like to break that trend of saying, you know, like, comment, subscribe. Like and subscribe if you like it, if you actually like it and you want to hear more. If you know somebody who does like this stuff but you don't personally, then share it with them. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt us and it doesn't hurt them, and it probably doesn't even hurt your friendship. If it doesn't hurt your friendship or relationship, whatever it is.
For real.
So
shout out to Kenyon for editing this video for us, and the next video that we're going to be coming out with is creating a harem. So you can end the cry. You can end it now. Stop broadcasting, Isaac.
Dude, literally